Operation Cross Country 7 included enforcement action in 76 cities across the country, and it resulted in the recovery of 105 children, in the arrest of 150 pimps.
A nationwide sweep breaks open hundreds of cases of child prostitution.
Some of the child victims and some of the pimps from right here in the Denver area. Our Brandon Ritterman is joining us. And Brandon, I think maybe we should preface this story by saying that, first of all, the good news out of all of this is that some children were saved from a horrible fate. A lot of children were saved from a horrible fate.
No question about it. And this wasn't one giant prostitution ring. This was a scheduled series of FBI stings to follow up on tips called Operation Cross Country. And you can see why it was called that here on the map. The arrests happened from coast to coast, as you heard, in 76 cities. The operation out of Denver ended in the arrest of 6 pimps here and the rescue of 9 child prostitutes, according to the FBI. The agency has not provided details on the Colorado-specific cases, but nationwide the operation targeted an array of venues, casinos, truck stops, and street corners. They also used websites and social media as part of the sting operation. Not included in those statistics we heard off the top are the adult prostitutes that were also found in these cases. The FBI says many of the adults were brought into the sex trade as kids.
We see this vulnerable age of being 13 to 16. One of the reasons that we are encountering and working toward adult prostitutes is with the expectation or the anticipation that they were once child prostitutes. And so if they had been prior victims, that is not outside of our grasp and our reach.
Now, the FBI says the most important figure to them is the number of kids that they recover in these operations. And aside from that, the large scale of the operation does 2 things that are important. One, it can turn up more leads and lead them to more children that are missing. And 2, it shines a light on this seedy underworld that we'd all like to think isn't as big as it is. And coming up on 9 News at 5, we'll hear more about what that world is like and what comes next to help the kids that have been pulled out of it.
I think we're all stunned. Every time this story jumps up, we're all stunned that this even goes on.
Yeah, it's one of those things that's really hard to get your head around if it's something that you haven't really encountered before. And one group that we're going to hear from coming up at 5 specifically looks at truck stops, and they're really one of their target areas is the truckers, not the Johns, but the truckers who just happen to see this going on and kind of turn a blind eye to it because they figure, oh, that's just what happens out here. Right. They want to get those people who might just stand by on the sidelines involved and calling the police.
Engaged in doing something. Yeah, we don't think it's happened in the United States, but those involved in the child trafficking and all this will say, yes, it does, every day.
Coast to coast and right here at home, as we just heard.
All right, thanks, Brandon.
Startling. Thanks, Brandon.